Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some really good trades. And right now we can see that Bitcoin got a very nice pop up towards the upside. As you guys can probably tell, we are in a trade inside the Discord. We are up currently over 31%. I'm probably going to set my stop loss in profit, or at least at break even for the time being, and probably in the overnight. And right now you can see that Bitcoin is probably going to have to retest this upsloping trend line as resistance, in order to try and break back into it. And then potentially we may see one more high in Bitcoin before we start to roll over. And again, I still think that we could potentially get back up to 32,000, as high as 35,000 before we ultimately roll over and before the markets ultimately top out here. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin, and right now it's at 27,200 on market Cipher. On the daily time frame, we have the 13 and a -5 on the dual band strength index. Now we take a look at the Elliott wave indicator as well. You had a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're gonna get your fifth wave up. So you got your third wave, your first wave, and now your final wave is supposed to at least reach the 618 at 35k. But I think you might not even get there. I think you might get to 32k at the very most, and then you're gonna start to roll over after that. But again, we're gonna have to see. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We still have a lot of resistances to take out here. Bitcoin, it might come back down overnight and retest 27,200 to 27,000 as support once again, and then maybe then we'll start to move back up. Okay. Let's take a look at wave edge here, and again, no green cross on the daily time frame on any chart except for Coinbase. And again, Coinbase is probably the only chart that has the green cross. Other than that, you'd probably have to take a look at the 12 hours and the 12-hour time frame. There's a green cross on all of the time frames. Sorry, on all of the charts on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin still looks like there's still potentially one more high left in BTC, although it might not be a big high. It might be a slightly, just a slightly higher high, maybe 32k to 35k at the very most. But then, I think we're going to start to roll over along with the traditional markets as well. Okay, so that's going to be our final wave, and then maybe we're going to get a corrective wave after that. Now let's take a look at the traditional markets today, because today we got a lot of good news coming in near the end of the day, with the debt ceiling potentially being resolved by Sunday. And that sparked a nice little rally today. The markets have been chopping sideways for so long. I don't even care what it's doing. I'm just happy that it's finally starting to move a little bit more, because look at these last trading sessions that we've gotten. Just absolutely no volatility. There's nothing happening in the markets right now, because everything's at a standstill with this debt ceiling issue. And I don't know why people are making such a big deal out of it, because what do you really think they're gonna do? Do you really think that they're not gonna raise the debt ceiling and they're gonna default and cause a global crisis? Of course not. Of course they're gonna raise the debt ceiling. It's in their nature, right? It's just what they do. So don't stress too much about it. They will raise it, and then the markets are gonna probably rally up on the news, but ultimately I think we are going to start to roll over after that. But we'll have to see what the catalyst for the market drop is, or maybe we won't drop at all. Maybe we're going to new all-time highs, although I don't think that is possible at the moment, but who knows. Anything can happen in this crazy market. Now let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is on a roll here, just can't stop moving up. Right now it reached my target of 13,500. I am currently in a short on the NASDAQ. If it gets to 13,750, I might even add once again to my short on the NASDAQ. I believe that there's very little upside left for tech stocks and the NASDAQ as a whole. Ultimately, I think you are going to start to break down. You're essentially in a massive, giant rising wedge at the moment, which is a very bearish pattern as well. So again, if you break out and you wick down and you start to break back, you break the lows here, I think the NASDAQ is going to start to head towards some lower levels. Obviously, first level is going to be 12,890, and then you're gonna have some lower ones right around 12,000, and then ultimately you're gonna get to the major ones that are going to be around 11,650 at 10,712, and then you could potentially maybe take out the October lows. But again, we'll have to follow up. Nothing's a guarantee in this market. Maybe we don't even break down at all. Maybe everything's fine and the inflation keeps going down and we live happily ever after. Although I don't see that as the most likely scenario. Now let's take a look at the natural gas here. So natural gas, bit of a pause day once again, but nat gas acting well. It was able to wick up once again. It is doing a little bit of bullish consolidation, I guess you could say. On some charts, you can see we are over the 50 EMA. On some other ones, we opened above it. We are holding above it, but on the nat gas futures, we are still under the 50 EMA. On the daily time frame, if we get over that, then I think you still got a potential, a little bit of a higher high in the third wave, and then you might pull back down, come back and retest this this resistance that we've been trying to break right here. This very apparent resistance is sitting here at, oops, did I not draw my line? It's sitting right here at let me just draw it down here, right there $2.40 essentially. And that gas is struggling at the moment to get above it, but once you do break above it, you're going to potentially retest it as support, and then you could take off once more to potentially $3, and then after that we can go higher and higher and higher. And again, this may not look that high, but these are very big in terms of percentage moves. We are already in our long position in that gas. We are holding it, and I believe that we still have a very good chance of making a higher high in that gas. But again, nothing's a guarantee in this market. Let's take a look at oil. Oil had a nice day today. I think oil is on its way to $75 to $77. After that, I think you are going to start to roll over and start to come back down to 72 and then head to lower levels after that. That's pretty much simple. I think 75 to 77, I'm going to start building my short position. Taking a look at gold here, gold is down once again, down to 1983. You are starting to run into some short-term support right around 1978, where these wicks are essentially. Once you could get a bit of a short-term bounce here, but ultimately I think gold is going to start to roll over as well. You might not even get as high as this. You might even, because this big red bar here is going to be a significant amount of resistance. I think maybe as high as 2015, and then after that you're going to start to roll over once again, and then you're going to retest 1938 as support. Okay. And then I might start a long position on gold. Silver's struggling here, unable to hold this channel as support. It is starting to break down at the moment. I have a small long position on silver. There is a bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. If it does pop back up, then you're going to retest $24.67 as resistance, and then you might start to come back down lower in the silver price. Okay, essentially something like this. I'll just draw it out for you guys. Okay, there you go. Let's take a look at something I wanted to check is the Bitcoin hash ribbons, because it is getting extremely close at the moment for a capitulation cross. So I'll have to follow up with you guys on that one. But ultimately, it has led to some pretty big, dips in the Bitcoin price. And if we were to drop, 50% from where we are, that would bring Bitcoin down to 13,587. But overall, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I think you're probably going to find some support way before then. We haven't even tagged 25,000 as support, and right now Bitcoin is acting well, looking good for a potential higher high, but we do have some resistances to take out. EMA ribbons have, we haven't crossed yet, but they are getting pretty close. So if Bitcoin comes back, it needs to do it sooner than later. And then finally taking a look at market cipher. I wanted to check market cipher on the S&P 500. Let me just get on my market cipher here, and then we can see that the S&P 500 is looking quite bullish on the daily time frame. The weekly time frame, the red dot has disappeared. You now have a 2 and an 8, so things are looking a little bit more bullish, not as bearish now. It's, I'm not too surprised, with this nice little rally that we've gotten. Dow Jones, however, 16 and a -5, and the NASDAQ looking bullish as ever. Looks like this thing is, unstoppable. It's going to keep going to the moon. It's never going to end. However, I really see that as the unlikely scenario. And then the Russell 2000 just lagging a little bit here. It was up. It was actually the leader of the day. It was up over 2.21%. However, you have a significant amount of red money flow on the Russell 2000, lots of garbage stocks, lots of regional banks inside, and once they potentially decide to raise the rates once again, the regionals might start to fail again and again and again. Okay, I think that covers it for now. I think we could take a look at the Dixie as well, the DXY. That's probably the reason why we got a nice little rally in Bitcoin. We saw the DXY pull back significantly. It is red at the moment, but if the DXY starts to run into some resistance here and starts to break down, you are going to see a nice little rally in gold and in Bitcoin as well. However, gold might not rally with the DXY because it's gone up so much on fear. And right now, you know, the fear is starting to dissipate a little bit. Investors are getting a little bit happy. And I think a lot of people are getting nervous about shorting the market from where we are. They think it's going to break out and go to new all-time highs. You know, it's a possibility, but it's, in my opinion, a very unlikely possibility. And right now, it looks like, you know, we're going to start to shake out some shorts by pumping up to potentially maybe 4,300. And then maybe we'll come back down to reality, and then it'll be it. And then we're going to start to roll over. But again, you guys know my view on this market. It's not very bullish. It's pretty bearish with these macroeconomic indicators. They're signaling all sorts of, you know, signs of potential massive recessions. You know, the unemployment claims are going to be tomorrow. They're going to be at 8:30 in the morning, I believe. Let me just double check that for you guys. It's going to be on Thursday, tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. So if the unemployment claims come hotter than expected, that is not going to be good news for the markets. Because, I mean, maybe it is, who knows, because, you know, they want lower rates, but they also don't want a recession. But you can't have both, right? So if you have higher unemployment claims, this is going to be a signal that a pretty bad recession is coming. And if they keep raising rates because it's not enough for the Fed to start to pivot, then that's going to be a really, really bad outcome. Anyways, I think I covered most of the stuff I wanted to talk about to you tonight. Essentially, you know, this is your waves for Bitcoin. I still think we got a little bit of a higher high coming, but you know, we'll have to see how everything plays out in the coming days. And ultimately, taking a look at the weekly time frame, it's still looking very bearish. You still got a good amount of red money flow, but it doesn't mean it can't, you know, do something crazy like this, right? It doesn't mean it can't just pump up and then start to come back down once again, and then maybe you'll do this, right? Maybe you'll do a bit of a, maybe you'll make a lower high in lower high on the RSI. Not the RSI, the momentum waves on the market cipher, not wave edge, and then you'll start to roll over in Bitcoin. Anyways, that covers it, guys. Thanks for listening. Love you all. We're at 21,451. Wow, we have so many subscribers. Once we get to 25K, we're gonna do that giveaway. And if you guys want to get access to my trades, like the one I just posted today, which was up 35% now. Feel free to join the Discord. Links in the description. Love you all. Peace.